Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our weekly live show. Welcome, everyone. I am Fabiana Claure, pianist and business strategist for musicians. And I'm excited to welcome you into our training for today. Say hello in the chat if you are joining me live. Today's training is all about how musicians can take better control of their time. And let me know if this is one of your struggles. If you feel that you struggle with keeping up with all the things in your life and you just don't know how you can optimize your time. If you feel that you wake up in the morning, you have a million things on your head, you want to create so many things, put things in place, and at the end of the day, you feel like what just happened? What happened? How did my day just fly by and how did I not get anything done? Right? Say hello if you're watching me live, and let me tell you, I can totally resonate with this because for many, many, many years I felt that time was my enemy, that I was just constantly chasing it, and that I could never really get a grasp of it to do what I needed to do on my terms, right? And it always came with this feeling of scarcity, like there was never enough of it. And so when I shifted my perspective, when I started realizing that time will be always about our priorities, time will always be available to us just like we breathe, just like we make decisions. Air exists and we all breathe it. And we make decisions in our life based on our time. We all have the same amount of time. There's not different parts of the world that you have 40 hours a day versus other parts of the world that you live with 20 hours a day. We all have the 24 hours in a day and we operate under the same constraints. So then how is it possible that some people are able to create amazing things in their lives, build legacies, create programs, businesses, success in ways that build their generational wealth? How are people able to create books, to write, to write amazing things, to publish films, to create a name for themselves, to write musical compositions, to release albums, to get so much creative output while others are not able to do any of that? The answer comes down to your perspective around time. That's the first thing I want you to think about. If you're watching this and you're wondering how can you start taking control of your time, it starts by accepting and understanding that you are ultimately the defining factor of what happens in your life. You are the master. You are the outcome. You are the input, and your life is the effect. Your decisions, the way you relate to time, the way you prioritize your tasks are the ultimate cause of your reality. And if you're not happy with your reality, it's not because you don't have enough time. It's not because there's too many things or people putting things on your plate. It's simply because you are not clear around what you want time to do for you. You are not clear around how you're going to get things done. You are probably overloaded with a lot of information. You're overwhelmed with so many decisions, and you're just in a constant mode throughout your day of chasing the next fire. What's the next emergency that I need to deal with? What's the next situation? How can I deal with this? How can I put this away? How can I figure this out? Instead of being able to take a step back, intentionally create your life, make decisions not only about what you want to do in a day, but what do you want that activity to represent for you in your week, in your month, in your year, and in your life. Most of the times, people who struggle with defining their time and managing their time is because they've given up control. They've released the control. They feel that it's not up to them to define what they do in their day, and that there are always going to be external circumstances that are interrupting them, that are like impeding their progress. It's simply a mindset shift. It starts with that. When you shift your perspective to say, I have time, I can make the time for what matters to me, whether it's taking care of yourself physically, whether it's being more emotionally present and connected with your loved ones, whether it's practicing, whether it's working on your business, whether it's doing anything in your life, it comes down to your decision that you get to create your own reality. And if there's something in your current circumstances, in your current reality that you're not happy about as it relates to how you can manage your time, if you are right now, especially like most musicians that come into my world, if you are right now trading your time for money, if you are working in a way where unless you are face to face with people, you are unable to earn an income, then you have given that power away because of an antiquated business model. You have given away the power to take control of your time, because unless you're face to face with your students or present, performing a gig, traveling and doing the things, like, you don't have a way of earning income. And so for you, it has become a matter of survival. You have given up your time because your life depends on that. And so even though right now you may be watching this and you may be saying, but Fabiana, how else am I going to make a living? I'm a musician. I mean, of course, I have to teach. I work with 20 hours a week of students, or 30 hours a week of lessons, or 40 hours a week of lessons, or I travel. I have to perform all these gigs all the time. And the rest is, of course, I have to, be someplace at some time to do all of this. You may be wondering, wait, what is the alternative? Well, here's what it is. Are you ready? Get excited. Because the reality is you will be able to take control of your time when you stop trading it for money. When you build a better way of working where you can monetize your knowledge and your experiences and your skills and superpowers, where you can create a way for people to access that without having to be working in front of you face to face all the time. So when you commit to taking a step back and, number one, shifting your perspective around time and accepting the fact that your life is nothing else than the result of your choices and your decisions. And if you are capable of reframing your relationship with time and accepting that ultimately you have time, you just have to know how to use it more effectively. You have to know what steps to take. You have to have the clarity to take the right steps. Once you have put those things in place, then you can actually get closer to your goals, grow your business, create financial and artistic prosperity, create the time for what matters most in your life. All of that is available to you when you commit to shifting the way you relate with your time. And number two, re-envisioning the model that you're currently working. If you're watching this, if you're in my community and you're asking yourself, why am I working so hard? Why is this so difficult? Why do I have to put so much energy day in and day out in my life to no results? It's because of the way you're working. You are trading your time right now. And unless you're physically in front of your students and unless you're physically in a gig, you just don't have a way of earning income. And that is a model that, as long as you continue working in that way, as most musicians are programmed to think is the way, as long as you continue thinking in that way, you will stay trapped. You will indeed not be able to control your life. Because if you're not in front of a student, you can't earn a living. You cannot respond to an emergency with your family. You cannot travel. Everything gets impacted by your dependency on being someplace at some time. So what I want to invite you, if this is resonating with you, you're wondering, well, how can I do this? How can I build a better life where I have complete control over my time? What would that look like for me specifically? Of course, in all of this, there is no one size fits all situation, right? There is no one size fits all scenario. So I want to encourage you, if you are in this moment of thinking, wow, like, how could I effectively reorganize my life, reorganize my time, and shift from where I was to where I need to be, then I want to invite you to a very, very special, exclusive event that I'm going to be creating for the very first time next week. I'm going to be presenting a brand new training that is going to break down the exact strategies that I work with my clients in helping them re-engineer their existing teaching studios. It's called Reorchestrating the Plan for Musician Entrepreneurs. Teach less, increase profit, have happier students. And in this training, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process of how you can look at your existing schedule, at your existing life, at your existing situation, and restructure the way you work, the way you trade your time for money, and change it into a model where you will no longer need to be working in this way. Well, you will have actual control over your life, over your time, over your decisions, and you will in fact become best friends with time. You will no longer feel that time is this elusive thing that you just have no control over. You're going to be excited about waking up in the morning and seeing your schedule for the day, knowing that you have built it intentionally step by step, and that there's nothing in your calendar that you cannot control, that you are unhappy, that you do not like, that you wish was not there in your calendar. There's nothing there. Everything that's in your calendar is there because you intentionally created it. So I want to encourage you to reserve your space. I have a brand new training. And even though this is something that I've talked about in many instances before, I am thrilled to let you know about this brand new training. It will change your life. I can assure you that. The strategies that I'm going to be teaching in this training, the content that I'm going to be presenting, the specific step-by-step map that I'll share with you, especially through actual examples of musicians who have done this, is going to transform your thinking, is going to show you how you could actually start doing this for you and how you could completely change your relationship with time and take indeed better control of your time. So if you are a musician, a music educator, an entrepreneur that wants to learn how you could take better control over your time, go to fabianaclaure.com/new musicians plan. Reserve your seat. This is a live event happening next week on Tuesday. And I look forward to having you be a part of this event so that you too can understand how you can restructure your music studio, how you can restructure the way you relate to your students, and completely redesign your schedule, completely redesign your offer to be able to have no limitations, no ceilings, and break free from the trap that you are now in where you are trading your time for money. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and join me next week for a complete transformation and a new musician's plan. See you soon, everyone. Let's prosper together.